Now you can go.
Good evening. We're opening up the Water Pollution Control Authority regular meeting in the town of Trumbull, February 26, 2025, and the time is 6:04 p.m. I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Frank Rigneri,
Here.
Tom Kelly,
Here.
Bruce Elstein, John Brake,
Here.
and John Green.
Here.
So welcome, John. I think you might have witnessed our last meeting, but welcome to the board. We look forward to working with you. With that, we need to have a motion to approve the January 25th meeting minutes, but I need a motion to correct the spelling of John's last name. It was misspelled. The correct spelling is B-Y-R-A. So can I have a motion to correct that?
That's the incorrect spelling. The correct is B-R-Y-K.
B-R-Y-K. No, it was spelled right on my document. I read it wrong. So can I have a motion to make that correction to the meeting minutes?
So moved.
I have a second, please.
Second.
We have a vote of unanimous consent. Motion passed. Now I need to have a motion to approve the January 22nd meeting. I don't know if everybody was there, but if somebody can make a motion to approve it.
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
We have a vote. Okay. I think I just screwed up there we go. Okay, next order of business.
Okay, you're back.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a new business I'm going to turn over to Bill, but it involves the medical building that's being constructed on 66000 Main Street on the north end of town. Bill?
Yeah, Bill Chin, can you bring in Jason Montago? Thank you. 6600 Main Street, the sewer connection. It's for a medical office building that they're currently blasting away. I mean, everybody's seen it up on the next to the old Marissa's pretty much. There is a sewer main on the opposite side of Main Street. And they will be connecting. They're proposing a medical office building of 12,210 square feet. The the connection charge for a medical office building per 500 square feet is a 0.25 unit, comes out to 6.25 units, and times the $3,500 connection fee comes out to $21,875 if it's approved. And I will ask Jason to add anything that he has to add.
Well, yeah. So, like you said, we're proposing the medical office building, and so our proposed connection point is on the opposite side of Main Street. So we plan on having the medical office building discharge out the south side of the building. The effluent would then go through 3 drop manholes before going underneath Main Street and connecting to the existing sanitary line. I think you nailed that. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the design, and just wanted to, if you need additional information regarding the flows, I have that readily available for everyone.
Couple of conditions I would ask is that if the commission were to approve this, that they require them to video and pressure check the line They'd have to hire an independent inspector to inspect the line. They're going to need a street opening permit for the town of Trumbull because they're going to be cutting into our brand new sidewalk on the opposite side of Main Street. So we asked that they do a street opening encroachment permit, and they will also need an encroachment permit from the state of Connecticut.
All right. Bill, how long is this run?
I'll pull up the plan.
3 manholes is quite a bit, so
Well, there's a big drop. It has
yeah.
to, in order to accommodate the change in grade, they would, if they just angled it, the velocity would be way too much. So,
I was actually thinking that it's gonna come racing down into the main.
so let me share my screen and you can see what we have. Screen 2. Can you see that?
Yeah,
There we
now
go.
Yes.
Now we do.
So you can see that the 3 manholes are not that far apart, but the drops are.
Yeah, that's
Over here is a profile view. And there's roughly a 4-foot drop in each one. And then it goes pretty level across until it gets to the other side of Main Street. They have, they're going underneath the water service and the storm line. Up here, they're the under drain, they're underneath. So that's the reason I'm asking that they check this line, only because they're crossing so many other utilities.
So they're going to pressure test all 3 segments or just the one under Main Street?
No, you can only pressure check the ones that you do between manhole to manhole runs.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So they can't, the last one under Main Street, they'll have to video. Because they'll be making a connection into they're not inserting a manhole there, they're putting in a saddle.
Hmm.
So there's no way to block that off.
And who's going to inspect that when it's being installed? Will the town or
The
will they get
town
a
will
fir-
inspect it, but I'm asking that they hire a independent inspector, only because it's you got a lot of structure going in there.
So the conditions would be, if we approve it, would be A, to hire an independent test inspector
Yes,
for the testing, and then a independent inspector for the installation?
well, they could be both the same. I mean,
Right. I understand that. So,
And video.
in video.
and video. Okay. Any other requirements? I mean, I read your email to me. I think it was a licensed sewer installer.
Yep,
But they need the permits, Bill mentioned.
right.
And they're going to repair the sidewalk, of course, right?
Of course, that's why the street opening bond.
Right, okay.
So you want a street opening bond?
Well, that's part of so it has to be done by a licensed contractor.
Okay.
So, and they have a bond.
From an engineering perspective, I would imagine the flows aren't that dramatic to worry about, right?
No, they aren't.
Can I just,
So-
is it Jason here for the developer?
Yes. I'm here on behalf of the developer.
Okay, this is just a single-use building?
Yes, it's just all for the medical office building, correct?
Okay.
all right. Bill, do you have any other issues that concern you at all about this? Seems pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
So
Okay.
I'm just writing everything down, but does anybody have any questions? Because I agree with John, it's pretty straightforward. So I would ask that we have a motion to allow this connection with the following conditions: that the work be inspected by an independent inspector. Is that a PE bill?
Yes,
Yeah, okay, so independent inspector registered PE in the state of Connecticut, that the line be videoed and pressure tested where it can be pressure tested, that a street opening permit be taken out because of the new sidewalk, and that that they pull a building permit, and I guess at which time their fee will be what Bill enumerated in the meeting minutes.
yeah, it's a sewer permit, not a building permit.
Sewer permit. They already have a building permit, I assume. Okay, so can we have a motion for that?
And one other thing was the camera of the assessment of the run under the state highway. Would be
Yeah.
one more condition, I think. Is that all the conditions, Bill?
That's it.
Well, I
Okay.
think you wanted the street opening permit also, didn't you?
I
That was,
said that.
you said that.
I thought there was two permits.
You're talking about the highway with the state, the
The
state.
the encroachment permit, they have to get the encroachment permit for the state, but that's,
It's not us.
Yeah, okay.
So that's
Yeah.
not a condition of approval for us to do that?
I think it should be. This doesn't hurt to add it.
it does,
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Okay,
Okay, we'll add that.
And just to clarify, we do have that, and I will forward it over to everyone for the record for the encroachment permit.
Okay.
All right,
And that
I will
permit-
move subject to those conditions.
Yeah. Can I have a second, please?
Second,
Second. Can you have a vote? Raise your hand for unanimous consent. I believe, John, are you
Yep,
voting
yeah,
yes?
I was there.
Okay. The motion passed, Margaret. Unanimously. So thank you, Jason, and good luck with your project.
Thank you all. Appreciate your time.
So the next thing is 12 Cambridge Drive. It's a sewer connection, a little bit more substantial. I guess it's an apartment complex. Bill, can you first off, maybe you could tell us where 12 Cambridge Drive is, and then go ahead and give us an overview of what the project involves.
Before I do that, I'd like to ask Bill, can you bring in the other two attendees?
This is one of those replacements for the buildings that are coming down at the south end of town.
This is actually a new building. Cambridge Drive is at the intersection of Old Town and Oakview. If you go straight on Old Town, you'd go into Cambridge Drive. At the very end of Cambridge Drive, there's an office building on the right-hand side that is 12 Cambridge. This new building would be a new building on that parcel. And the parcel, they're proposing 124 residential units. I'm gonna let either Ryan or Matt speak on the behalf of the applicant.
Bill, I have a question before we get there. I just want to get my bearings. Thank you. I know where Cambridge Drive is now. And the one on the right is a building with like a parking garage.
No, that's 6 Cambridge. It's the
Okay.
next building up. It's an office building. 6
Further up.
Cambridge has been vacant for many years, but 12 Cambridge has been operating as an office building for a while.
Has this gone to zoning?
They have not, they can't go to zoning until they get an approval. I think I'll let Ryan speak on that.
Sure, if I may, Ryan Hoyler with Robinson and Cole for the applicant. And I'm here with Matt Cheka from Stonefield Engineering as well. We were just at zoning this past week. to get the zone text change approval. We have created an overlay zone that would permit mixed-use multifamily within the IL2 district, which is where this property lies, specifically the southern IL2 district. I guess there's also a northern industrial district as well. And this is limited to the southern one. We just got zoning approval for the text change last week. And as part of that text change, we require approval from the WPCA before we can submit for the site plan special permit.
May I ask how how this comports with the zoning extension that they just passed on the limit on high density of 50?
Absolutely. So this is age-restricted zoning. So this is the entire project will be based on age-restricted zoning. The zone change we passed is to create age-restricted zoning to residents of 55 or older, and that is exempt, my understanding is, from the moratorium that is currently in place. So again, the Planning and Zoning Commission just approved this text change with the overlay zone last week, and we are in front of both the WPCA, the Police Commission, as well as wetlands to get approvals before we can move for our site plan special permit. So just to give a brief overview of the project, it's, as Bill stated, it's an existing site. There's already a commercial office building on it. To the east of that commercial office building, we are going to be creating a 124 unit residential multifamily property. And Matt can walk through some of the details of the proposed sewer connection.
Yeah, so just for the record, my name is Matt Cheka with Stonefield Engineering and Design, here representing the applicant for the project. So, currently, and just to clarify, we're not changing anything with the proposed office building. That's staying and remaining. The parking lot will then be converted to this building, and our sewer connection will go plan to the right in Old Town Road. So I don't know, Bill, if you want to zoom in a little bit, but there's an existing line in the middle of the street. Our proposal is just to connect that into the middle of the road there. New 6-inch lateral connecting into the existing 8-inch main. Bill was kindly to provide the record mapping of the main in Old Town, and we do meet the invert connection. Just through that, through the proposed curb cut that we're proposing along Old Town as well.
Bill, is this the stretch we just did?
No, this is our force main ties in further to the west.
Okay.
I also have all of the velocities and demands if you want to go into the nitty gritty of the design. But the lateral we're proposing is 85 linear feet, and it's about 1.5% slope.
Okay. How many units did you say this was?
124 units.
Okay.
And to note, as part of the zoning requirements, at least 10% of that must be affordable.
Okay. That's not really our concern, but
Understood.
it's nice to know.
Yeah.
Bill, have you reviewed the plans?
Yes, I have. They're pretty.
There's no
straightforward.
there's no need for us to send these out to Christine or anybody to.
No, this is an 8-inch line that actually dumps into a 12-inch line. This is actually good.
It's
So
actually
this is downstream of where we connected our new force main.
That's correct.
And where does this flow to? Beardsley Park?
Beardsley.
And I know I've asked you before, but as we add these block of 100 apartments, where is that leaving us for room to finish the rest of the town that's called for
So-
sewers?
So the original sewer design for the town was based on a much higher flow capacity than what we're flowing now. I can actually, I did a little research into that. I can send you that report. What they actually, they based the population of Trumbull to max out about 45,000. Right now, I think we're at 38.
And this side of town is already sewered, right?
Not all of it. There's a couple sections right off a reservoir that are not sewered. There's a section over by South Nichols that's not sewered too. But
No, I'm talking about this pipe that we're connecting into.
no, everything else is sewered.
Right. So it's not like what's going on over in Nichols, where we have to be concerned about a couple hundred houses
Right.
connecting at a later date.
You have right. You have well, you do have another 125 that are connecting right here.
So Bill, let me ask if I may. This is Jim Nugent, the town attorney. In that vicinity, there is the the apartment building at the top of Lindenman, right? And then there's the age-restricted, somewhat adjacent across the street from them.
So on Lindeman, that flows to Reservoir, which flows to the Reservoir Pump Station, which ultimately flows to Beersley. This does not flow to Reservoir. This flows directly to Beersley.
Okay, so it's bypass. It doesn't really commingle with those
No.
complexes, nor with the large complex on Reservoir.
No. So this flow actually goes through a small portion of Bridgeport, then into our what Fairchild Wheeler is, and then under through the state property, and then ends up in Beersley.
Okay.
And you have more than enough capacity
Yes.
at the pump station, and this line, you're saying the 12-inch existing line is 12-inch, is that correct? The
Yeah,
gravity line?
as it flattens out at the bottom of the hill, it goes to 12 inch.
No issues with added flow.
No, we just actually videoed and investigated a section that went through Fairchild Wheeler.
May I ask council or the developer, how many stories is this building?
So it's 4 stories above grade, but the grade changes a bit as you go north from Old Town Road. So it actually kind of looks like 5 stories at the north end at Cambridge Drive, but from Old Town Road, we have a maximum building height of 4 stories, not including excluding bulkheads that you can't see from the street, but that's from the Old Town Road side.
So it's
Just to
4
be
stories
clear-
of apartments, or is there a lower level that's not apartments
4 stories above grade of apartments, and then 2 stories of parking below that,
below that? Okay.
and as well as exterior parking.
All right, Bill, do you have any concerns with this project at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
It's always the ones you're not aware of that are the problem, but yeah,
So-
okay.
So this has an 85-foot lateral? Is there cleanouts or manhole on the property to maintain this line, or Bill, is it not needed?
They should have a clean out anyway, but they're gonna have interior cleaning in there.
Okay, so
we can-
85 feet doesn't require a manhole.
No, we usually make them put a clean out every 100 feet, so they should have one clean out before it enters the street.
Any additional requirements or just,
They should video it just to determine that it's it's a good install, because there's so many houses there's so many users on this line, we want reassurance that the installation was good.
And what kind of permit do they have to pull besides their building permit?
They have to pull a sewer permit and a street opening permit.
And street opening?
May I ask also, are there going to be individual kitchens for all the units, or is there like one main kitchen for everyone?
Well, they're in 124 residential units, so each residential unit would have a kitchen, correct?
Are each one of the units single family, single bedroom, or?
It'll be a mix of 1 and 2 bedrooms.
When you said age restricted, just for my general information, that means everybody that's domiciled in those units are 55 or older?
Yeah, it's the requirement to, it's restricted to residents of 55 or older, yes.
By the way, so somebody have something in the background going here. We're getting some background noise on the audio here. Whatever it is. Okay. I'm just thinking grease traps and things that 124 kitchens emptying into the sewer line.
And to clarify, it's 124 mix of studio 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms. I believe I said 1 and 2 bedrooms before.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry. I'm looking at an aerial view of Cambridge Drive, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where this building is going to be.
Of course, if I may share my screen briefly, I'd be happy to provide you. All right.
I've got the office building on the town
Yeah, I looked at it.
Envision here, but I don't know where the new building's going.
Yes. So
Just to the east would be immediately almost adjacent to. It's where that parking lot is, right?
correct. Yeah, it's pretty much going to be in here. So
And what's beyond that? Is that the boundaries of that old park, industrial park?
there's a separate property up here. I believe it's a residential property. And then these are residential properties here, these individual parcels. And it maybe actually just make more sense to pull up the site plan, which I think.
If you want me to share, Ryan, I'll be able to do that pretty easily.
Go ahead.
So you can see the existing building here to this is where down is west.
So the existing building going to stay?
Yes, the existing building will stay.
Where's the parking for it?
So there's already parking all around here. There will
I
be
see it.
exterior
Okay.
parking all around here, and then underground parking underneath the building.
Interesting. Mixed. Is this the new definition of mixed use?
This is one of the, this is one of them. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, again, that's not really our concern. That what the planning and zoning, et cetera, deal with
No, but we're getting at the
appropriate
fact
mixed uses.
getting at the
Pardon?
fact is there going to be a restaurant there and like, some of the other mixed use developments where
A
there
good
may
point.
be
Right.
maybe
right.
some
And
other
it-
requirements like grease traps and stuff.
That's correct. And in this instance, we're talking about a existing commercial building. So it'll continue to operate as a commercial building. As of right now, it's not built out to have things like restaurants and stuff in there. It's really an office building.
And there's no shared facilities. I mean, this isn't like a assisted living type of thing where you'd have a commercial kitchens and large
No.
shared dining or other shared resources beyond that which is normal to an apartment building, which
Correct. This is
Yeah.
just a normal apartment building. It just happens to be age restricted.
yeah, okay.
Mm.
All right. I mean, again, if Bill is comfortable with it,
Yeah, I think if Bill's comfortable with it, I think we'll put the similar qualifications, video inspection after it's installed, road opening permits, pull a sewer permit. And obviously, it's gonna have to secure town planning board approval. And with that,
Do we,
Um,
Bill, do we ever have any, or maybe this is more to Jim? Um, I mean, we are operating on a contract that's running out with Bridgeport, and we are adding significant incremental capacity through each one of these projects. We pay the standard overage fee already. Um, is there any concern or issue potentially, though, that as we keep adding this capacity, that we're going to run into issues?
Well, there's always going to be issues with Bridgeport, that's for sure. But you're talking about like excess capacity over our thresholds and stuff?
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, right now we pay the 125 because we're over already. And then we pay just by unit, so which, so we would obviously, or the residents slash through the developer will pay for the units here. But are there any other issues we should be concerned with? Because we've had quite a few projects here.
That's true, and there are more in the pipeline in town here, but I know what you're saying, John, in a general sense. I couldn't say, putting me quickly on the spot here about this, about whether or not this is a basis that we can use in our deliberations about this particular project, unless and until we get an engineering opinion about capacity.
I think at this point, maybe another subject matter here is discuss undertaking a study of what we have in the town and what we have in the way of future capacity, because I ask this question every time. How's that going to impact the parts of the town that aren't built out yet? And the fact that, the choke point, for about what, Bill, 80% of our flow is through Bearsley Park Pump Station.
Yeah, at least 3/4.
So that's why with this line, the area is already built out. So and from what Bill tells me, the pump station is under design. It has not reached its design capacity. Is that correct, Bill?
Correct. So I will share with you the when they did the Bridgeport Trumbull interceptor line, they took all these capacities into account, and currently we're still way below that capacity. But
Well, I mean, it all depends on, we have one choke point we're talking about,
right,
and this one is basically a direct run. So, it makes it easy. But there's going to be other areas of town that
Where
we
that
really
might-
need to start considering, what is the capacity?
It's an appropriate
yes, it is.
issue to investigate for future use. Can I ask you, what is the name of the owner? Is the owner developing, or is the owner under contract with?
This is an owner development.
Yes, okay.
Well, I don't have the name of the owner directly in front of me right now. But I think right now I think it's 12 Cambridge Drive LLC that is putting this together, but it is an owner development project, absolutely. And the owner has been at all of the planning and zoning meetings and will continue to be. I don't believe he was available tonight.
Okay.
You don't know your client's name other than
It's
his
12. I
LLC?
know who my client is. I don't want to give wrong information about entities right now. The entity name is 12 Cambridge Drive LLC, and I know who the owners behind it are. But
Yeah, I mean, the record I'm looking at says 12 Cambridge Drive Realty LLC.
yes, that's correct.
Seems to be it. Okay. All right. I just wanted to see if we're dealing with the same company entity for the project here.
I mean, in my view, they are before us, and we should act on their request. But I think we ought to give serious thought, as Frank says, to doing a study before we take on future stuff here, because I don't think we have a good sense for it right now. Um,
How much
So-
flow is this building gonna add on average? We know.
The flow,
Matt,
yeah, the
Matt, can you
flow,
tell us what the flow is
yeah, the flow is 26,000 average gallons per day.
Thank
per
you.
day?
26,000 per day. Okay.
And that also takes into consideration just like the non-age restricted flows. I believe in some municipalities or districts or even states, like they do have, different flows for different types of, I guess, uses, right? So the number's obviously conservative, but we expect it to be a little bit lower, to be completely honest.
And I think you said that this was a mix of studio and one bedroom?
And
Only?
2 bedroom, studio, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom, correct.
And two, okay.
Is the 26,000 additional flow from existing or all in, including the existing commercial building?
That's separate from the existing commercial building. We did not put that into our analysis because the flow from that building goes into a different line.
Got it.
That building's set much lower and cannot discharge into the Old Town Road system. So they're actually going down into a separate system through Cambridge Drive.
yeah, office
I don't know
buildings don't tend to add a lot anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't know where that flow ultimately goes, but we're certain that the office building does not contribute to the Old Town Road system. It's set much higher.
Yeah, that system flows to reservoir.
Really, it's interesting that they're adjacent, but they're obviously
So,
the
there-
geography lends itself to a different outflow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Like I said, I think we should act on this motion because I mean they put in a request and we have no policy right now otherwise, but discuss how to handle future because as Jim said, there are other ones that are probably coming down the pike. So
Yeah, I think in the interest of time, I'll get with Bill and Jim, and then next meeting we'll have something to propose in the way of a study, get a sense of how much it would cost and
okay.
get
All
that
right.
figured out.
But
Mr.
I
Chairman?
would move to approve this contingent upon and Bill and Frank, you may want to, from your notes, state the
Conditions.
contingencies or the requirements associated with this.
The requirements are video inspection after it's installed, pulling of a sewer permit, pulling of a street opening permit. Bill, do you require a licensed inspector?
The town will inspect this. It's only 85 feet and it's fairly flat.
Okay, well, that's it. So
You need a bond on this, Bill?
That's part of the sewer installer will have a bond.
There you go. All right.
So with that, can I have a motion to approve this connection?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second,
Mr.
I
Chairman,
have a,
I
Mr.
have a
Chairman,
question.
just one other question before everybody votes. A question just
Sorry.
on the timeline. What are you looking at for, you don't have a building permit yet? Right?
We don't have a building permit yet. We're currently in front of this commission as well as police and wetlands. We anticipate being in front of the zoning commission for the site plan special permit probably through May or June. So we likely wouldn't be thinking about building permits and things like that until after that. So likely sometime in the summer or early fall at the latest, I would think.
So you think you might break ground later in the year, though?
Theoretically, I can't speak for the developer and how that's all going to work out once, we've gotten through zoning and we start going into that building process. But, we do anticipate that, that they want to move, obviously. So.
No. Okay, just want to get an idea.
So before we vote too, also, there's 124 units at $3,500 per unit. Comes out to $434,000 for the connection fee.
and they pay that before you'll issue a permit?
Yes,
Okay,
Bill, just
Okay.
to clarify, that's 3,300 or 3,500?
3,500.
Thank you.
I have a question. I was late, for which I apologize. I was in Stanford all day. Am I permitted to vote on this, or am I excluded because I missed the beginning?
I think if,
I've read the materials in advance and I've listened for the last 15 plus minutes. I'm prepared to participate.
If you consider yourself educated on the matter, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
was
if
just
there's any
gonna say
legal
it.
issue, but
I think if you think you're up to speed, which I think sounds like you are, then I think you could vote.
That's what
Yeah.
I would say also. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So John has a motion on the floor with the conditions that we discussed. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a vote. Show of hands
Favor?
in favor.
Looks
Margaret,
unanimous.
Bruce, I didn't see your hand. Did you vote in favor? Yep.
We did.
It passed unanimously, Margaret.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Any other business?
We're gonna wait for Matt to check out and then we'll get to our next business.
Holly Lane. Okay.
So Holly Lane Pump Station, Bill and Jim have been discussing this and they're gonna bring us up to speed on, this is the unit that I guess handles the Westfield Mall over there, or the
No.
Holly Lane Mall.
Holly Lane.
Holly Lane. I caught myself. I knew it was Holly Lane Mall.
And it's just the Holly Lane Mall.
Okay, not Target or anything else over there.
No,
Okay,
it's a single building that goes to the pump station. When we check the land records, we have no easement to that portion, that pump station. We have no legal, or I don't know if I should say legal, but we have no agreement that says that we're supposed to take care of that pump station.
Well, I'm going to just back up a little bit so everyone understands the history. And this is what, Bill, is what based on what you told me. So when the Holly Lane Mall was constructed, the owner or developer constructed their own pump station on their own property. Town apparently did not pay for it, and as Bill just said, we do not have an easement. However, the town has been maintaining the pump station continuously over all these years, from whatever year it was constructed. I don't know how long.
86.
86, okay. So Bill has conducted an investigation of the pump station and has determined that it is definitely in need of, I don't know how much of an overhaul, Bill. You could be more specific than me on that.
The pumps are not desirable pumps. They're a vacuum prime pump. They're finicky and constantly in need of adjustment. Not many people around even deal with those pumps. The station, we recently, in the past couple of years, put a new generator in there because we needed to. And then the station itself isn't a very high flowing station, but it still needs to be reliable and we need to update it.
Do we have any other pump stations that use that technology, Bill?
No,
It's the only one? Okay.
only one.
This pump station, how far onto the property is it? And,
In the parking lot.
So how long is the discharge line going
It's-
through their
it's-
property?
Maybe 800 to 1,000 feet.
The pump station's 800 to 1,000 feet from our gravity line?
Yep.
And it's all on their property?
It is.
Jeez.
So I've done a little investigation on our side. If the town does the work, we have the right to specially assess the owner with the cost, just as we would assess any property owner. That's one approach that we can take. You know, they would pay the assessment off like a, you know, on a bonded type of scenario over time, you know, and pay the interest, or they can pay it faster or finance it. The other option is to approach them and ask them if they want to build it. I shouldn't say build, but pay for the expense. And I don't know if we really want them to hire their own contractor or not, Bill, but that's some mechanics that we can get to later. So I'm trying to find out someone who's the right contact over there. Bill, have you ever talked to Rena about?
I have not. I have not.
All right. We're going to have to touch base with her. I think she would have some, hopefully some information about who to speak to over there about this. And, but I don't know how urgent it is. What do you think about that?
It's something that we should start moving forward, because the pump station is approaching 30, 40 years. So,
Well, something I
If
would,
we owned it, where would it fit on your priority scale, Bill?
number 4,
Behind the other ones we
behind the
reviewed.
3 other ones. Yes.
And that's strictly primarily driven by volume, I assume.
It's by volume and by condition. It is, like I said, it's not a very high volume. It's probably one of the lowest ones we have. But, you know, it's still sewage that we're talking about, and we can't ignore it. I mean, it still has to be dealt with.
And the issue is because I'm not familiar with pumping technology per se. It's right. If we lose the vacuum, somebody has to go back out there and reprime it every time.
Yep.
Okay.
There are 2 pumps or 1?
There's 2.
And do you have a control station there that you monitor?
Yes, we do. We do monitor that station.
How did this happen? You're telling me it's 800 feet onto private property, and we somehow are maintaining it?
I can't explain this.
And I assume, since I don't think that kind of monitoring technology existed 40 years ago, that it's at some point we paid to put in this
Yes, we
monitoring
did.
system.
We put in
Yeah, but
monitoring system.
in 1986, there was monitoring systems, believe me.
Yeah, but we installed ours monitoring system, that the one that we have today, which is
Yeah, I know. In 1986, you had relays and dialers. So
right, you
know,
had dialers, but we improved it to
But-
a digital
this is I think
system.
this is more a legal question. I mean, if it's ours, we have to maintain it. It's easy for the commission.
no, it's not.
But now it's sort of a hybrid. I mean, we've built
I don't think it's ours at all.
even the equipment that we put in
That's why I
on
said
somebody
it's a-
else's property.
It's a legal question. We've
What?
been maintaining it for gratis, okay? But if it needs to be repaired, I would think we would say, look, you have to repair it. And by the way, we don't want to maintain it anymore.
Well, that's a separate issue. But in terms of the repairs and replacement that are needed, just remember, we did not construct it. We did not pay to construct it. It's not our property, and we do not have an easement. We don't really even have the right to go in there, technically speaking, without an easement. However, the town did assume maintenance on it. So as far as I'm concerned, those are 2 separate issues. Whether we have to continue maintaining it is not the issue in terms of essential repairs, because Bill, what's kind of the worst case scenario? The pumps fail. What happens to the operation of the mall, right? I mean, they kind of have to shut down, don't they?
No, they bring in a temporary pump.
Yeah, they would probably they'd probably
Yeah.
bring a septic hauler in and pump out the tank once or twice a day.
Well, I guess that's an option.
Yeah, what is I mean, retail doesn't tend to generate a lot of sewage. So what is the volume out of this facility?
It's very low. I mean, I'd have to go back and check the records, but it's the lowest station that we have in gallons per day.
Not
I
surprising.
think they're only 5 horsepower motors.
This is analogous to what we just went through with Trumbull Center when they were going to put the pump station in. We weren't going to maintain it. They were going to build it and they were going to maintain it.
Somewhat analogous.
Well,
And there's already a pump station here, though.
Right, right.
And we've
There's
been
the
maintaining
problem
it for
is
40 years.
we've been, as far back as I can remember, we've been maintaining this.
I don't know what the other lawyers think here, but to me, I think there's an issue when we have assumed the maintenance for 40 years, whether we just have the right to just suddenly tell them we're not doing it anymore. So
Well,
but
there-
we're not putting the cost into it. That's the immediate question. It needs to be repaired and it needs to be paid for.
so
So
the question is, you said you could, under statute, assuming that you correct the fact that we need an easement and all that, under statute, we could fix it and they could pay us, they'll pay 80% of the share as an assessment.
on the assessment option, yeah, I guess.
And the other option is for them to go ahead and do it themselves.
Yeah, I would urge that to begin with. So what we're
Yeah, but
really looking for here is a direction from the commission about how to proceed with this scenario we have over there, so that I can be authorized to go ahead and.
Do we have to vote on the fact that we want to authorize you to go talk to them and,
Well,
you know,
no, you got to decide what you want to do. You. I mean, my recommendation is.
you know, when I said it was a legal question, I was cognizant of the fact that we've been maintaining it for 40 years, and that may have some ramification on, you know, what our responsibilities are. So when I say it's a legal question, you have to tell us, do we have to maintain this? Do we have to fix it?
Well, it's like I said, I see those as two different issues. The question right now is the replacement of the pumps, right, Bill?
Replacement of the upgrade of the station. I mean,
at the very least, we need to put them on notice that the pumps are in, you know, at the end of their useful life, and that they require a lot of maintenance, and that, you know, you approach it as a separate issue. But if it is their pump to fix, they need to be, since we've been maintaining it, we need to tell them it's failing.
You know, I agree. You're going to tell them that. We're going to tell them that this is what they need to do. And they have the option, if we want to give them the option, of doing the work themselves and paying for it in whatever manner they choose to do, finance it or write a check or whatever. I don't know what the cost is going to be.
so I just.
What-
But the third alternative is, if we decide that they don't want to do that and we have to fix this thing, that we can assess the cost to them at 80%, correct?
We can specially assess them, yes.
Okay.
So my concern is that if they decide that they want to do it themselves,
End up
I
with
mean,
garbage.
they're gonna go the cheapest way, and then I'm gonna be stuck maintaining stuff that's inferior, you know, or
How
not.
about,
Well,
how
but
about-
can we put limitations, just like we just went through with these other folks, we could put limitations on connecting to our system. Yes, they're currently connected to our system, but I think we could put limitations on what equipment that they use to upgrade the environment. I mean, that it be acceptable to town engineering, I would think.
I would say
Jim?
that. Tell them this is what you need to do if you want to continue utilizing the Trumbull sewer system. And Bill, I think we need, to work up in writing
What do we
the
need?
immutable requirements for this engineering project, right? This is the deal.
Yeah,
But,
but we'd also need to straighten out the easement issues
That would be helpful.
and all the hold harmless clauses that go with that.
So we need a construction easement, we need that's really all we need, I think, was construction.
I
easement.
think the approach would be to go talk to them, tell them this thing's failing. It's not ours. For some reason, we've been maintaining it. we're obligated to tell you it's failing, you need to fix it, it's yours, we're not going to maintain it anymore. That would be the first approach.
And
Yeah.
I think reminding them it's for their use only, because they could conveniently think other people are using it.
I didn't hear the
Good
last thing you
point.
said, John. Conveniently do what?
They might be thinking other people are using it. I think we got to remind them, this is a sole use just for them.
Yeah, yeah, right. This is strictly for the mall. But everyone else is on Gravity over there, right? The Target and the hotel.
Yeah, Target, the hotel, and the medical office building all go Gravity.
Do we have anybody else in town who maintains a private pump station?
Amazon.
Amazon has a private pump. I didn't even know that. I've been on this committee when that would have happened. Where was I? Where was I then with that day?
So
This is-
Amazon has a pump chamber that pumps up the trefoil. And currently they got to fix it because somebody ran into the portion that goes over the bridge, over the Pequannock. So it's not operating at the moment, but there's also, I mean, there's also private individual residents that have their own pumps.
Well, this isn't the only situation where there's a pump station, right? There's the one over off Park Avenue, right?
Park, which,
I thought it was in North Park. There's a small development.
oh, they haven't gone in yet.
No, this is going back a long time. I thought it was there's a small.
There's
like
a small pump
neighborhood.
station at the bottom of Park Avenue South.
Yeah.
That's ours. But
Yeah,
it
that's-
serves a bunch of residents.
Yeah,
we put it in, right?
Yes.
that's a little different because we paid to do that for some reason. Why we put it in? Was it like 10 homes? I don't know if it's even that many. Is it?
No, it's more than that. It's more
Yeah.
than.
Okay.
But it's small. But is there any reason we would want to maintain this bill? Or should we legitimately consider, as Jim references, just say, hey, look, this is not our responsibility.
So,
Well,
there was originally, there's been other projects that were approved that had their own pump station. And they worked out so they could go Gravity. But no.
Yeah, is it a precedent? Well, the precedent actually already exists, but is it a precedent we want to get out of going forward?
that's the problem with precedents.
Yeah.
They're a little hard to unprecedented after they're
Yeah,
already there for 40
That's
years.
exactly. Well, that's the reason I'm asking. I mean, it's kind of like adverse possession and other things where if something goes on long enough, the law makes assumptions, it seems like. So
No.
You can't
or
do
worse.
adverse possession against the municipality, though.
I'm sorry, John.
You can't do adverse possession against the municipality. The government's exempt from that.
Oh, I wasn't necessarily saying that there was a sound analogy, just that I do know that time is an element in a lot of these determinations. I guess
Yeah.
that was the point I was trying to make.
No, you're right, and then that's to our detriment in this scenario. But listen, I think I want direction for Bill and I to approach this with some decision from the commission about how you want to approach it, because we got a problem. It has to be addressed, and I don't know how quickly they're going to respond, how quickly they're going to make a decision. It's not like we got one guy sitting over in Trumbull that's going to decide this. I know they took a tax appeal. I forget where they're located, but it's not local. So,
Bill, do you have any record to know how long we've been maintaining this?
No, not for certain. I only know that since I've been here, they've been doing it. So that's the past 12 years. So
Yeah, but you said it was built in '86, right?
that's correct.
I would imagine it's been since the beginning. I mean, I can't why we would suddenly start maintaining something on private property
You don't know who was in charge or what, it's there's all kinds of things that could happen.
This is true.
nefarious.
Well,
I mean,
I
it's
mean, I
800
think as a general practice, we don't want to be in the business of maintaining pump stations on private property.
Oh, I agree. I
Um,
wish we weren't in this position, but look, there's a short-term issue and a long-term issue. The short-term issue is getting the repairs and upgrades, designed, implemented, and paid for. So there's no failure. So, we can try to join that with the maintenance issue, maybe. Maybe we make progress there, maybe we don't, but
well, Jim,
I
let me
mean,
ask
how
a
about if you
question.
took
How
the-
much control do we have? If we said, look, this is your problem, do it. Do we still have the ability to say, as I said earlier, you got to do it per these specs from town engineering? I mean, you're tying into our system and here are our standards for tying into our system.
I think we have that authority. I mean, they want to use our sewer system. They have to build it up to current state-of-the-art requirements, right? We're not going to build to, 1990 standards. So we've got to tell them this is how it works.
Okay, but does that have to be an adopted policy that's universal, just so they say, hey, you're not picking on us?
Well, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the
I
engineering
mean,
department.
is there a possibility that the town,
Doing
as
something
part of its economic development, it told this mall that it would maintain the pump station? I mean, we don't really know.
No, we don't know.
The mall has changed hands a few times too, so that makes it a little more convoluted.
But any agreement we made like that would be in town records, right?
Not that we found.
Okay. And somebody went off the reservation and just decided to start maintaining this thing. If I had to guess.
Who knows? We could speculate about this a long time, but listen, I need to get your
Why don't-
focus
why-
on what we want to
so
do
you-
going
so
forward here,
you
guys.
want-
What do we
You
want to
want
do?
direction. You want direction. So you need to approach, I think one way is for you to approach the owner and do whatever due diligence you have to do, you and Bill locally talking to our economic developer person now, and say, look, for some reason we've been maintaining your pump station and it's for your sole use and it's failing. And we want to put you on notice about that. And that, we don't even have an easement to be on your property to maintain this. So we don't know how it happened. But in order to rectify this, you're going to need to, the pump station needs to be replaced in the near future. So, and begin the discussions about, have an alternative. We don't want to maintain it. If we have to maintain an additional 800 feet of sewer line now, and a pump station, we're gonna have to make an assessment on that, and plus the assessment of the new pump station. Because we don't own the pump station, I don't see how we could say, hey, we're replacing it and we're gonna assess you 80%.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you do?
Well, it's in danger of failing. We're not
No,
gonna.
I know that, but
That's how we do it. You say you don't know how we could do it. I'm saying that's how we do it. We tell them this is a public health issue.
we're going round and round here. I think you need to approach them saying as it's not ours. Why we maintain it, we have no idea, but it needs to be replaced. And there's two options. The easiest option is for you to fix it and maintain it going forward.
In accordance with specifications that the building department, the engineering department will provide.
Otherwise your mall's going to be, you're going to be incurring all kinds of expenses to comply with health code requirements to get this sewage off the property.
Yeah. I think I would like to vote on that, right? So we have a record that the commission voted to proceed in that manner, and then we're off and running.
That's just my opinion. John, what do you think?
No, I agree.
I'll raise one concern I have, and that's what if they simply say no? They'll say that, we'll continue to limp along, and if it fails, then we will deal with it. But until and unless that happens, we're gonna keep it as is. Forget
Yeah,
about it.
but we've been maintaining it and band-aiding it. If we stop maintaining it, it's gonna fail.
Well, I think at that point, I believe we have the option of doing the work and assessing them.
Or just, are they shut down saying you can't, there's a condemnation order until it's fixed?
Potentially, but like, that's why I asked before, what's the worst case scenario? And then they're saying, well, they can come in and bring in trucks and pump it out on a daily basis. I don't know why they prefer that, but
I agree with Jim, though, that there's a problem if we simply say we're not maintaining it anymore. After 40 years, there's a course of conduct there. I'm not sure how you unring that bell.
Well, then if that's what I was saying. It's a legal question. So what
I
you're
don't think-
saying is we have to fix the way it's set up right now. So
no, we have to repair the station. We have now.
got to
That's what we
repair
gotta
the
do.
station. You got to get an easement. Who owns the 800 feet of discharge pipe, Bill?
They do. Well, I mean, it's not on our property. It's not in town right away.
So you're telling me from the town right away to the pump station's 800 feet?
Yes. Give or take. The
No. I
exactly right,
mean,
but it's
200 feet is enough. I mean, 800 feet is.
so just to give you an idea, this is basically in front of Coles, and the gravity line dumps out in front of the Target driveway.
Oh, so they're pumping up that hill.
Yep.
It's at least 800 feet.
So Bruce,
So
you don't think we can overcome 40 years of conduct of maintaining this for them? And if that's the
I think it's hard. I don't think there's a clear answer.
and if that's the case, they need to be approached saying this thing is in failure mode. It's yours. We maintain it. We don't know why. We're willing to continue to maintain it. We don't know why, but you're going to have to pay to replace it.
Yeah, I'm not really going to cross the bridge with maintenance with them right now. I want the pump station repaired so we don't have an emergency up there. That's what I'm trying to stress
Yeah,
here.
but Jim, it's either you can't be half pregnant here. If you
Yeah,
build
you
a pump
can.
station and it connects to our pump station controls, we own it. It's ours.
No, we don't.
We don't have any private pump stations connected to our system.
We do have private pump stations connected to our system. There,
No. I'm talking about our control system.
no.
But so what?
Uh,
It's their pump station. They built it. They own it. They got to repair it.
And then who maintains it afterwards?
I
That's a-
know you don't want to let go of that, but I really just want to get the thing repaired right now. Now we gotta move forward with the emergency issue, all right? Which is repair and
Well,
replacement.
then I think
Failing parts.
then what we should do is authorize you to go discuss with them that it needs to be repaired and very, very quickly. I don't know. And that and see what they say. And the alternative is
What
I
I'm
think
recommending here is that the commission pass a motion that says we want whatever work Bill says is necessary for these 40 some odd year old pump systems to be replaced with modern, up-to-date pumps. And either they pay for it and do it themselves, or the town will do it and specially assess them. That's what we're looking at in the short run, and that's what is the urgent issue here. So that's what is the direction that I think the commission should take now.
I think that's okay. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. So just get a motion in a second, and we'll vote on it, and then we can move forward.
Yeah. Anybody?
Get a motion from John. Break.
We gotta.
Second.
Let's have a vote. Margaret, it passed with unanimous consent.
Who seconded on that one?
Bruce did.
Bruce,
Thank you.
Thank you.
all right. There is no other new business.
Yeah.
And I will follow up with Bill and Jim about what we need to do in the way of a study so that we can present it to the commission next meeting, so we can decide how much it's going to cost and when we could get started and if it gets approved or not.
I'll tell you, there's like a couple hundred units proposed on Reservoir. They were in zoning or wetlands just the other night. He came in with a workforce application, so-called. It was denied. I do think it was zoning, right, Bill?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
It was a text
Denied,
amendment.
so I suspect he's going to come back with an 830G application. We'll see what happens with that one. That's only one. Is anything happened? I just want to get you, while I got everyone here, up on the project that was happening.
Which one?
The apartments that were half in Monroe.
They have never, so they reached out to me in December, said they were gonna come in with the, so we have they have to come in with a check for 30,000 so that we can get an inspector out there, our independent inspector. And I have not seen an encroachment permit from the state or the check, so.
I heard that they got their easement across Spring Hill.
They did? I have not seen that, but yes, I was gonna check on that.
Somebody told me that. All right. No action there. Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's all I have.
Okay.
But there are numerous properties that could be developed, and the fortunately, where the apartments are going in right now, we're kind of okay. At least the one that we heard about tonight. All right, with that, unless somebody has something else, we're gonna go ahead and get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, Tom, did you second? Second. Vote.
All right, everyone.
All right, go watch
All right.
UConn.
That's right.
Talk to you later.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.